This is Platinum Northwest TV News. Good evening and thank you so much for joining us. I'm Philadelphia Mangoeng. Let's take a look at the news making headlines. First up, the Northwest Province released the crime statistics for the 2024-2025 third quarter, and ANC Chief Whip in the Northwest Legislature urges the Northwest government to resolve unemployment urgently. In the business news, South Africa risks losing access to the US markets, and in the sports news, former Gabon youth coach banned for life by FIFA for player sexual abuse. We begin here. Earlier today, the MEC for Community Safety and Transport Management Vessels Mangoeng and the Acting Provincial Commissioner of the Northwest, Major General Patrick Asaning, briefed the media on the release of the 2024-2025 crime stats. In his remarks, the MEC indicated that there are some areas where the province did very well. These periods include the festive season. Now, a total of 26,999 cases were reported, 1,101 cases less than the same period of the previous year.
Of the beginning of the holidays, closing of the schools and the factories, and the start of the festive and traveling both in and out of the country. During this period, there is an increased crime incidents which include robberies, burglaries, accidents, markings, and therefore calls for intensified policing. However, for the period under review, as a province where the general decrease in crime, we recorded a total of 26,999 cases, which are over 1,101 cases less than for the corresponding period for the previous year. This translates into 3.9% decrease. In total, the province had 6.6 contribution to the total.
Now, the Acting Provincial Commissioner handed over to Brigadier Nchabele, who presented the crime stats. Let's take a look.
All the categories of crime, we managed to reduce the figures thereof comparing to the previous period in 2023. The only crime category that we did not manage to reduce is the contact-related crimes. And although we managed a reduction in the other categories of crime, there are, however, crimes that gave us a challenge. And amongst those crimes, we have the assaults, both GBH and common. We have malicious damage to property. We also have commercial crimes. So those are the crimes that we did not manage to reduce. But as I said, it's just a summary. The actual figures are as indicated on the two slides that I am referring to. And
in other news, the African National Congress Chief Whip in the Northwest Provincial Legislature, Rosho, on Tuesday urged the provincial government not to spare any effort to defuse the ticking time bomb of youth unemployment. Rosho called for the rigorous economic transformation programs that will revitalize industrial sites to be implemented in order to address unemployment among youth that is standing at 52.4%, the highest in the country. During the State of the Provincial Address debate in the provincial legislature, she highlighted that state-owned enterprises must be repositioned in order to contribute towards job creation as part of the provincial growth and development strategy that focuses on mining, agriculture and tourism to stimulate economic growth and development. Let's take a look.
Deputy Speaker, as acknowledged by the Honourable Premier in his State of the Provincial Address last week that he delivered before this House, unemployment that is standing at 52.8%, affecting the majority of our young people, remains a challenge and a going concern. Through you, Deputy Speaker, Honourable Premier, no effort must therefore be spared to defuse the ticking time bomb of young unemployment, especially focusing in our youth and women and people with disability. The January 8 statement has just put job creation through meaningful economic transformation at the top of its priority list for this year. Therefore, rigorous and radical economic transformation programs that will revitalize industrial sites must without failure be implemented. These sites must possess the efficient ability to accelerate the creation of an enabling environment for investment in improved manufacturing competitiveness, which remains the most reliable sustained employment creator with the highest job multiplier, whilst being cognizant of the comparative advantage that we have as a province. In this regard, we are concerned about the delayed establishment of the Botswana Special Economic Zone, Honorable Premier, which has the potential to create more than 15,000 jobs opportunities in the Moses Kotane local municipality and will benefit also the surrounding areas. It has been talks for a long time, Honorable Premier. It's about time that we get the final plan and we pursue the Special Economic Zone decisively as a collective. The Northwest Development Corporation must fully exploit job creation opportunities across the province as part of full realization of its mandate with manufacturing as a priority sector. Improving the competitiveness of our people in small-scale economic activity, such as local retail and enhanced local ownership of spaza shops, must be fast-tracked for beneficiaries to access that 500 million fund aimed at supporting small businesses in our villages and our townships. As the ANC, we welcome the framework on localization that is to be developed through the supply chain located in the provincial treasury.
In more news, some owners of food outlets, including spaza shops, says that they fail to register their businesses. They say this is because traditional leaders are charging them a fee for recommendation letters. The deadline for the registration of the businesses was last Friday. Spaza shop owners says they were unable to pay the fees. In news across the continent now, Botswana is set to make history with the launch of its first satellite, Botsat-1. The launch is expected to take place later this week, marking a significant step in the country's space ambitions. President Gideon Boko arrived in Los Angeles to attend the launch, which represents a major milestone in Botswana's effort to harness space technology for national development. Now developed by Botswana engineers from the Botswana International University of Science and Technology, Botsat-1 is designed to generate satellite data that will support critical sectors such as mining, agriculture, and urban planning. Beyond attending the launch, Boko's visit, which is expected to run until the 9th of March, would include site tours of space rocket production facilities and Starlink mini production plants. Moving on to international news now, U.S. President Donald Trump said that he has signed more than 100 executive orders to restore what he terms common sense and wealth to the country. He says his administration has launched the most sweeping immigration in American history, which includes ongoing mass deportation of undocumented immigrants. President Donald Trump is expected to take credit for his swift and unrelenting action during his first month in office in his first presidential report to Congress in 5 years, while apportioning a fair share of blame to former President Joe Biden. And with that, let's take a look now at the business news. In the business news, economic analysts have sounded the alarm that South Africa risks losing its preferential access to U.S. markets, saying there will be major repercussions for the economy if it does. Pretoria's relations with Washington have deteriorated since February, when President Donald Trump froze most aid after claiming that land was being expropriated from white Afrikaner farmers. The South African authorities haven't confiscated any private land since apartheid ended back in 1994. Trump has also taken President Cyril Ramaphosa's administration to task over its relations with Iran and its proxy to Hamas, and for filing a case in the International Court of Justice in which it alleges that Israel's actions in the Gaza Strip were an act of genocide. His criticism has stoked fears over the fate of trade arrangements such as the African Growth and Opportunity Act, through which thousands of South African goods enter the U.S. duty-free. And that's all from the business news. Up next, we get the very latest in the sports. In soccer news, FIFA has imposed a lifetime ban on Patrick Asamoah, a former coach of the Gabon youth team, following a ruling by its adjudicatory chamber that determined that he engaged in repeated actions of sexual abuse against several players. The adjudicating authority found him responsible for engaging in inappropriate conduct toward multiple juvenile athletes over a 15-year period, resulting in one of the most severe sanctions ever imposed in the history of football. A former head coach of Gabon under-17 team admitted to raping, grooming and exploiting young players following 2021 allegations. A former player reported that A lured victims to his home, dubbed the Garden of Eden. FIFA provisionally suspended him back in 2021 and its ethics committee investigated. Moving on to basketball news now, the NBA's all-time leading scorer LeBron James added yet another impressive milestone to his illustrious career on Tuesday night, where his Los Angeles Lakers cruised to a 136-115 win over New Orleans Pelicans. Now, the future Hall Famer became the first player in the NBA history to score 50,000 career points across both the regular season as well as the playoffs, after making a three-pointer in the first quarter in front of an adoring home crowd at Crypto.com Arena. Let's take a look.
It's 20-point games this year. LeBron, open three, got it! 22 seasons, 40 years of age. LeBron James, 50,002 points.
Now, the four-time NBA Most Valuable Player needed just 1 point to reach the achievement after having amassed 41,837 points in the regular season and 8,162 points in the playoffs, equaling to 49,999 combined entering Tuesday's game. Now, no other player in the league history is within 5,000 points off the 50K mark. Hall of Fame center Kareem Abdul-Jabbar had 44,149 combined points and sits in second place behind James on the all-time scoring list. And that's where we're going to have to leave it for tonight. Thank you so much for watching. The team is standing by tomorrow evening. Till then, good night and take care.